February 13th, 1971. Your mother was born.
Yeah. Did I
And
put that somewhere?
I don't know. February 13th, 1971.
Yeah. How you know that as well? Yeah, she was. Yeah. That's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah.
Can you give us can you kind of run through real quick what your mom went through as younger?
Well, from what she told me is it was definitely a lot of poverty. You know what I'm saying? She was born in Nuevo Laredo,
Oh,
Tamaulipas.
really?
Yeah. She was
Bro,
born.
that's where my mom and dad were born at. Nuevo
No
Laredo,
shit.
Tamaulipas, way.
Yeah. No, I'm from Tamaulipas. I'm
Tamaulipas,
from
de
Rio Bravo, bro.
Monterrey, from Bustamante. Oh
Yeah.
my, that's crazy, way.
Yeah, she was born in Nuevo Laredo, but they
That's
migrated
fire.
over there to Rio Bravo. Because my sister had 9 brothers and sisters, 9 siblings. So
Okay.
she was born there, and like my grandpa, he was from San Luis Potosí. My other uncle is from Monterrey. My grandmother, I believe she was like from Chihuahua, I think. But I was like, bro, how the fuck did y'all like? She was like, man, we moved around a lot. So they ended up in Rio Bravo, Tamaulipas. That's where I was born, Rio Bravo, Tamaulipas, right?
Okay.
And she told me, yeah, it was a. Because I asked all the time, I was like, man, it's a lot of y'all. Like, how the fuck did y'all do it? Like, it was. It's 4 of us, growing up. I was like, that's 4 of us, and we be struggling out here in the U.S. How the fuck did y'all do it? She was like, over there was a little bit more different. She was like, but we were very poor. She was like, I was always really good in school. And then she showed me her report cards and everything, bro. Like, it was old ass report cards. It was nothing but the grades were like from 1 to 10. Like, it was like you either got a 9, like 9, 8, 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how, I guess, like the 70s, 80s, 90s,
Yeah,
100s.
yeah.
And she told me, she was like, and I grew up really smart in school. Um, but she said that one of my uncles, I'm not gonna say his name, but she said that one of my uncles, mind you, she has 9 siblings, so it's one of them. That I think when she got to the high school that he convinced, or that he was talking shit so much, something like that, to my grandma and my grandpa, saying that women need to clean and do this and that, this and that. So she was trying to be a lawyer, and I believe
Oh,
that
really?
she would have done it. You know what I'm saying? But then she just ended up driving out, and you know what I'm saying, doing shit around the house, helping around the house, working, shit like that. And then, of course, eventually she met my dad. You know what I'm saying? So, but she told me a lot about my grandmother. She said that my grandmother was, I feel like that's how uh, the way that she described my grandmother and my grandfather, I feel like that's the life of, well, not the life, but like I feel like a lot of women have told me that growing up, their mom, they usually get along more with their father than with their mother. You know what I'm saying? So she told me that she was really close to my grandfather. And then she would always get into it with her mom. That she would start working, she would start selling like, I guess like I think it was like raspas and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just and then eventually she met my pops. My pops was around the way, and she met him, and here I am. You know what I'm saying?
So then you were born, and you said this, um, and that reminded me of harder times. I'm talking times I would preferably not cross my mind. I remember crossing that river in '95, just a
Just a
couple
couple
of
of
days
days
after
after
kindergarten.
yeah, yeah.
So, how old were you
I
when your
was.
mom?
I had to have been. I had to have been like 2.5.
Wow.
And a lot of people tell me you can't remember that far. I can remember. I know. I know.
I can definitely remember. I remember stuff when I was 3. So
Yeah,
two
that's
and a
what I'm
half
saying.
is
Like, I don't
doable.
remember like exact. Like, if I can
Yeah,
remember last year, but I
yeah.
definitely do remember, like, what I'm saying, certain shit.
That's a big event. Because I swear to God, I remember stuff when I was 3 years old. My wife does me the same thing. I remember stuff when I'm 3. So 2.5 is very believable. You can remember
Yeah,
stuff. From that.
and so I mean, I didn't know about Selena back then. She gave me that information later on when I asked her, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when was it, whatever. But man, what I do remember is I remember getting dropped off somewhere, and I was with my mom, and we was with this guy, and then we just started walking in the field. It was nighttime, and I remember I was just like, "What the fuck is we doing?" Like, in my head, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, "What the fuck is we doing?" And I remember she was holding my hand, and we just kept running, walking fast, running, hiding in the bush, and then I'm just like, "Yo, mom, what are we doing?" Like, I remember like asking her, like, "Yo, what are we doing?" And I remember whenever we would hide in some bushes and like around some trees, and she'd be like, shh, and you could see the trucks. You know, you could see the people patrolling and shit. Well, before that, I remember getting into we got to the river. I remember this so clearly, bro. And a lot of people don't believe it because they're like, bro, you was way too young to remember. But I remember getting to the river, and you know the inner loops, the inner loops of the las cámaras in the tires, like okay.
Yes.
So they had some big ass ones. I guess they was using it like some like not the floaties, but like the lifesavers. You know what I'm saying, to put around you. Cause my mom didn't know how to swim. I definitely didn't know how to swim. Yeah. So I remember they put one around me. They put one around my mom. And I remember the coyote.
The coyotes that are crossing.
Yeah, the coyote. He was pushing us. He was pushing us, and he was swimming and pushing us. Man, I thought I was like, oh shit, she came out here to like. I'm thinking it's like a pool day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here talking like, oh ma, yeah. She's like, like, you know what I'm saying? And I remember crossing to the other side, and then he grabbed the inner loops, and he put him in like a bush, like he hit him in a big ass bush. And I remember telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to take it. Like, me lo quiero llevar, ma. She's like, cállate. And she carried me, and she just kept running. And that's whenever that came, like you would see the border patrol trucks, like the lights going through the field, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, yo, hide, like watch out, like hugging me, like holding my mouth. And I just remember, I can never forget that look in her face. Like I remember looking at her, and she was just scared. Like she was just, like she looked terrified. And I'm thinking like, something ain't right. Like we ain't doing, like this ain't no pool day. Like this ain't no us getting on these floaties and having fun. Like there's something wrong. It's nighttime. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's when I started.
Around this time, how old was your mother?
My mom had to have been 71, 81, 91. She was like 24, 25.
25 years old, crossing the border with her 2.5-year-old son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she tell you why? Why did she do it? Why?
For a better life.
Better life.
She told me, I asked her whenever I got older, I was like, yo, Mom, why don't we just go to Mexico? I made a post about it too. And she was like, I'll be damned if I take you back to that place. She was like, I'm not saying that it's, you know, I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm proud of who I am. She was like, but I didn't go through all this trouble. I didn't go through all these moments of people profiling me or people judging me, of me working out here, of me putting up with certain shit for you to just go back to the place that I pretty much saved you from. You know what I'm saying? And she would always tell me, her motto, man, in Spanish, she was like, no me hagas que me arrepienta de traerte para acá. That was like her. She every time I would fuck up, every time I'll be some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, no me hagas que me arrepienta. No hagas que me arrepienta. No hagas que me arrepienta. All the time. Don't make me regret me going through all this trouble for you to just end up on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a better life, bro. Like for real, man. That's just crazy.
So she comes over, and she gets to work, I imagine. And how did y'all get wind up getting papers? You said you got the green card, right?
Right. And I lost it. I lost it right now, so I gotta go get a new one, man. That shit sucks.
So was that a process?
It was definitely a process, a big process, bro. My dad, he became legal. I think it was with Jimmy Carter or something, because he came over here illegally too, but that was before us. And I think there was like a treaty or something that if you work, he told me a little bit of it. I don't really talk to my dad how I used to talk to my mom, but somehow it was a president, and I think I want to say it was Jimmy Carter. I think it was Jimmy Carter, and he became a legal resident. So we came over here. I think we had to pay a penalty or some shit like that for coming over here. But since she was married to him, he got he was in the process of fixing her papers, and I was also too included. So it took us about 10 years for us to become legal.